to be joining us right now. Volk, your thoughts on tonight's fight, my man?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. You know, you all touched on that. I don't think we all expected Movsar to just want to stand with Lerone. Whether that was something that he felt he had to do just so he could guarantee himself a title shot. I'm not too sure, but you could see that he was a lot stronger when he wanted to take it down, and then was able to outdo him on the feet. So for me, it's quite impressive, to be honest. So fair play to him. He's 20-0 now, and I guess he's next.
Volk, as you were watching this fight, were you scoring it round by round? And if so, what did your scorecards look like?
Yeah, that first round was close. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure people would have gave it for Evloev and for Murphy. From what I remember, I was obviously trying to set up this as well.
Yeah, we had you pretty
I
distracted.
tried to watch it. And I tried to watch it the best way I could. But I watched enough. I thought that was the case. Maybe the second round I didn't watch enough of. But from what I've seen, maybe Lerone might have got that round. But we'll talk about, I think it was the fourth round where it was a point, deduction. Evloev clearly won that round, I thought. So that was like a draw round. So I was actually thinking towards the end, could this be a draw? Yeah. Which would just put a massive spanner in the works as well. But I do believe Evloev looked like the better fighter. And one thing I will touch on as well is, I don't know, I felt like he didn't want to push the wrestling. He wanted to stand up and maybe prove himself on the feet. I don't know if that was to prove it to himself and to everyone that he can stand, or whether he maybe felt forced. But I don't want any excuses when we fight. I want him to try everything he can. I want him to try and take me down, because I won't let it happen, and he'll be forced to fight on the feet because of my takedown defense. So, and that's just all due respect. I don't want him, when I do get my hand raised, to be like, I was trying to impress the fans. I don't want none of that. Don't worry, they will be impressed, because no one's holding me down, and we'll be standing on the feet, and I'll leave it at that.
Did you think that Evloev's stand-up was underrated going into this fight? Because we thought it was a little underrated, but we didn't expect something like this. What was your thoughts on his stand-up coming in here?
Yeah, I thought it was nice. He was maybe a little gun-shy early, but you've seen him start to get quite comfortable, and he's usually pressuring. He can sort of maybe bully people and get them worried about the takedown, but it felt like he was able to bully him a little bit, even on the feet. Like when he started pressuring and making Lerone sort of miss, and then just being in front of him, firing, and having Lerone have to shell up. So I was actually quite impressed with his striking, to be honest. So he definitely can do it all, but we all know, his grappling and wrestling's his strong suit. That's where he's most strongest, and he didn't really show too much of that, but whenever he did, he was very successful. But then he was just happy to stay on the feet.
Volk, we all know that you're kind of a purist in terms of the sport. You're going to give the most deserving guy the title shot, but at the end of the day, this is entertainment TV. If Movsar would have had a more typical performance like we typically have, where he's shooting takedowns, kind of laying and praying a little bit and just being dominant on top without doing a bunch of damage, would you still have, the champion ultimately has a lot of pull in terms of who's next in the title shot. Would you still be as excited, or would you be wanting to look to a more exciting challenger for your next title defense?
I mean, as you said, that's the type of guy I am. I want the guy that deserves it most. And, it's pretty clear that is Movsar, and he's had to take the long road because of that. So I feel like he would have got the title shot well before if he was that fighter you're talking about. But now he had to do it the long way, and he's done that. But again, that still excites me. A lot of people, we're seeing this new era where you could say new era, where you've got these heavy wrestling grapplers that are just taken over, and they're quite dominant, right? We've got a few champions that are just know how to wrestle, grapple, and not many people know how to deal with that. So for my legacy and for the fight, and everyone knows, look at my fight with Islam. Everyone thought I was going to be controlled, and look at the type of fight that turned out to be. So it excites me. You're going to, this is the new era, and I want an undefeated guy with this new style that everyone's struggling with. And I'll show you, why I've been a champion for so long. And, I'm not usually one to be, I'm going to fight for legacy. But that's one fight that I feel like I need that. An undefeated 20-0, number one contender, taking out all the guys. Like he's took out all the top guys, all of them. And it's quite clear. And, I thought he still looked great. He didn't get the knockout. I'm sure he was looking for it. You could see him trying. But the fact that he was able to push that, good on him. But again, with me, you just do whatever you want or whatever you think you could do to win. And again, I'm not trying to be cocky. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I just don't want any excuses after the fight because I won't be held down. We know that. And I'll make it an exciting fight. I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to lay in hands, and there's ain't going to be nothing someone that wants to wrestle can do about it.
Volk, it sounds like you want Evloev. I love that. When do you think you're going to be ready to fight again?
We're looking at maybe July. I think July is good. July, August. I think that's still great timing for them. That gives them, whoever was going to win gives them plenty of time. But again, it doesn't really matter. But I think July, August is good. I couldn't fight any sooner. Just had to take care of some things. But now I think, July, August sounds great. So we'll talk to the UFC. We'll see what they say. We'll see what dates they're looking at. But I don't think Movsar would have got injured then. No injuries, so I'm sure he'll be sweet. So I think it's not even that quick of a turnaround. I think that's going to be like 4 months or something, maybe 3 or 4 months. So hopefully he's happy to do that. If not, maybe August, we'll see.